Chronic inflammation is the underlying mechanism in most modern diseases, and financial stress actively triggers inflammatory processes through cortisol elevation and stress response activation. The conventional wisdom suggests anti-inflammatory eating requires expensive wild salmon, organic berries, and grass-fed beef, but the reality is you can eat a powerfully anti-inflammatory diet on a tight budget. The inflammation science is important to understand. Acute inflammation is healthy. It's your immune system responding to injury or infection. Chronic inflammation is different. It's a persistent low-grade activation of immune cells that damages tissues over time, contributing to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, depression, autoimmune conditions, and accelerated aging. Stress, poor sleep, processed foods, refined sugars, and certain oils all promote inflammation. The anti-inflammatory foods that are actually cheap. Turmeric is extraordinarily anti-inflammatory due to curcumin content. A container costs $3 and lasts months. Add it liberally to rice, soups, eggs, curries. Ginger provides gingerols with anti-inflammatory effects. A pound costs $2. Use fresh or dried. Leafy greens like kale, collards, and cabbage contain antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Cabbage costs about 70 cents per pound. Oats have beta-glucan fiber that reduces inflammatory markers. A large container costs $5. Walnuts are the cheapest nut and provide omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA. While not as potent as fish-based EPA and DHA, ALA still shows anti-inflammatory effects. A pound costs about $8, which seems expensive until you realize a serving is 1 ounce, giving you 16 servings. Canned sardines deliver EPA and DHA dramatically cheaper than fresh fish, about $1 per can. Here's a week-long meal plan under $40 demonstrating anti-inflammatory eating. Sunday shopping list. Oats, $5. Frozen berries, $4. Cabbage, 2 heads, $2. Sweet potatoes, 5 pounds, $4. Canned sardines for cans, $4. Dried lentils, 2 pounds, $3. Brown rice, 3 pounds, $3. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, $3. Walnuts, half pound, $4. Leafy greens, $3. Olive oil, if you don't have it, $5. That's $40. Monday, oatmeal with walnuts and berries. Lentil soup with turmeric, ginger, and greens. Sweet potato with sardines and coleslaw. Tuesday, same breakfast. Leftover lentil soup. Rice bowl with cabbage, turmeric, and whatever protein you have. Wednesday, oatmeal again. Sardines on sweet potato. Lentil curry with brown rice. Thursday, repeat patterns with variations in seasoning. The beauty is these ingredients make dozens of meals with different flavor profiles. Lentils with turmeric and coconut milk is Indian dal. Lentils with tomatoes and oregano is Mediterranean. The cabbage becomes slaw, stir-fry, or soup depending on preparation. The inflammatory foods to eliminate are often budget traps anyway, which is helpful. Processed foods with refined oils cost more than cooking from scratch. Sugary drinks are expensive and provide zero nutrition. Refined white bread costs about the same as whole grain but lacks fiber and nutrients. Cutting inflammatory foods often saves money while improving health. The lifestyle factors matter as much as diet. Sleep deprivation triggers inflammation. Chronic stress elevates inflammatory markers. Sedentary behavior promotes inflammation. The intervention can't be purely dietary. You need to address sleep, stress management, and movement, none of which cost money. Walking is free. Sleep is free. Deep breathing costs nothing. What the research shows is that anti-inflammatory dietary patterns reduce inflammatory biomarkers like C-reactive protein and IL-6 within weeks. People report improved energy, better mood, reduced joint pain, and enhanced mental clarity. These aren't placebo effects. They're biological responses to removing inflammatory triggers and adding anti-inflammatory compounds. The omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is critical and often ignored. The typical Western diet has excessive omega-6 from vegetable oils and insufficient omega-3 from fish and certain plant sources. This imbalance promotes inflammation. Reducing cheap vegetable oils and increasing fish, walnuts, and flax helps restore balance. This doesn't require spending more. It requires choosing differently. The antioxidant density in cheap vegetables is often superior to expensive ones. Cabbage has comparable antioxidants to kale. Sweet potatoes rival berries in certain antioxidants. The idea that you need exotic superfoods for antioxidants is marketing. Regular vegetables grown in healthy soil and eaten fresh provide abundant antioxidants. Cooking methods affect inflammation too. Frying in damaged oils creates inflammatory compounds. Steaming, roasting with olive oil, or boiling preserves anti-inflammatory properties. Overcooking destroys some beneficial compounds, so lighter cooking is often better nutritionally. The gut microbiome connection to inflammation is increasingly recognized. Fiber feeds beneficial bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory compounds like butyrate. The meal plan I outlined provides abundant fiber from oats, lentils, vegetables, and brown rice. This supports gut health, which in turn reduces systemic inflammation. What concerns me is the wellness industry selling expensive anti-inflammatory supplements when food-based approaches work as well or better. Turmeric supplements cost $20 monthly. Adding turmeric powder to food costs maybe $2 monthly and provides the same curcumin plus other beneficial compounds in the whole spice. The compliance factor matters. An anti-inflammatory diet must be sustainable to work. If it's so expensive or restrictive that you can't maintain it, the benefits don't materialize. A $40 weekly plan using familiar, accessible foods is maintainable long-term, allowing anti-inflammatory benefits to compound over months and years.